In the previous tutorial, we have discussed simple selectors. In this tutorial, we will see another type of selectors called the combinator selectors. There are four types of combinator selectors, which are child selector, descendant selector, adjacent sibling selector, and the general sibling selector. Now, let's delete everything here. And I'll be using a div and h5, for example, for this example. So this will be the first h5. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, let us use an h4. Yeah, I guess it's better now. So let's copy and paste. We have two h4s inside our div. So we have two h4s. The next is after the h4, after the div, sorry, we have an h4. Let's say this is first h5 after div. Okay, maybe have a second one. Yeah, this is the structure I want to demonstrate combinator selector. And of course I have for example, let's have an aside. You can use any elements, but I mean, it doesn't matter. So let's have another h4. This time first h4 inside the side. Maybe we want to add some okay. Now we have this h4s. Now they are different. This one, this h4s inside are inside the div, and out this one, these two are outside the div element. And these h4s differ from this h4s because they are inside the aside. Now we'll see what the difference is. Let's go to our style, the CSS. Okay. Let's use the descendant selector first. So let's have descendant I'm not sure about the spelling anyways, but okay, descendant selectors. When we select using descendant selector, we use the space. Now if we want to select an h4 inside of the div, we'll be using div space then h4. This way, if we, for example, want to give it a color of maybe purple, you can see every h4 inside our div, this, and this four have been selected. What will happen if I, let's do it this way, if I use the child selector? So this will be my child selector. In the case of child selectors, I will be using the plus, the greater than and h4. Okay, this is how we select in the child, using the child selector. You want to give it a color of maybe red. Okay, now let's comment this, the upper one. So we will have only the two selected. Why are this only selected? It's because in the child selector it will only select the first child or the children, first children of the element. Inside the div, you go and get the h4 directly, but you get this other h4s by going in another child called aside. So in the descendant element, you can select all the h4s inside other elements like aside, section, and form maybe. But inside the child selector, you can only select the children that are directly to that selected element, in our case div. So this is the child selector. Now the other type of selector lets you select elements or tags that are outside of our selected div, selected element, in our case div. Let me show you. The first one is the adjacent sibling selector. So adjacent sibling selector. Remember, all these are combinator selectors. So let's just comment the other and give it div and use the plus sign in adjacent sibling, then h4. Now all h4s after the div, the first h4 after the div, our adjacent sibling selector selects the first, this h4 for example, after our div. So let's give it a color of green for example, or it's not visible, it's better now. So this first h5 after div is selected. If you want to select every h4s after our div, you can use the general sibling, which is the fourth and the last type of combinator selectors. Sibling selector. Okay, for that you will use the div, then this sign over here, then the h4. Okay, let's again comment this, then give it color of maybe blue violet and refresh. You can see you can select every element after. So this is all about the combinator selectors. In the next tutorials we'll see more on pseudo-class selectors, pseudo-element selectors, and attribute selectors. So thank you for watching. See you next time.